My name is Danny Weitzner. I'm director of MIT's new Internet Policy Research Initiative, and I'm principal research scientist at CSAIL, the Computer Science and Artificial Intelligence Lab here. I've been lucky enough to be working on Internet policy issues more or less since the Internet first came into public view. In the first part of my career, I ran some of the leading Internet civil liberties advocacy organizations in Washington, D.C., the Electronic Frontier Foundation and the Center for Democracy and Technology. And then I came to MIT in the late 90s when I naively thought that we had kind of figured out all the big Internet policy problems and it was time to come up here and do some research about what we had done. What I've learned is that there's really huge challenges, obviously, in the Internet environment, far more than we ever anticipated in the 90s when we saw the first encounter between the law and the new technology of the Internet. So today, the Internet has gone very quickly from being a curiosity that was in people's proverbial garages to being something that we obviously all depend on a daily basis for our economic life, our social life, the operation of our governments, our military, our industry, even our romantic life increasingly depends on the Internet. And I think that what we've learned is that for all that the Internet has had a huge impact on our society, we still actually understand very little about how this works, about how this environment works. In particular, in my experience as a policymaker in Washington, I took about 4 years off from being at MIT, and I was down in Washington in the White House as Deputy Chief Technology Officer for Internet Policy. What I learned was that there were many pressing questions that faced us. It was clear that the Internet was an enormous, both economic and social imperative, that we wanted to encourage it. We wanted to help it grow. We wanted more people to have access to it. We wanted it to be stable, trustworthy, and secure. But there were many, many questions that we had where we actually really needed guidance from the research community to understand the impact of different kinds of policy decisions. And we didn't really have enough guidance from the academic community. So I came back to MIT, determined that MIT should be able to contribute the best technical expertise that we have about the Internet environment. So much of the Internet was pioneered here, and apply that expertise to the pressing public policy questions like privacy, like how do we keep the Internet secure, what do we do about the Internet of Things, how do we deal with cyber warfare, how are we supposed to manage international relations in the wake of all this new technology? What do we do with autonomous systems? The list goes on, and for every one of these questions, there's key technology that's being developed at MIT, and what we are doing with IPRI, with the Internet Policy Research Initiative, is making sure that as we develop the new technology, we're also exploring what the public policy questions are and what the smart approaches are for policymakers in those areas. The mission of MIT's Internet Policy Research Initiative, which is just 2 years old now, is to provide policymakers around the world with technically well-grounded guidance about what their policy options are for achieving key goals such as Internet privacy, cybersecurity, protecting our critical infrastructures, helping to make sure that our economy grows in a constructive way along with these new technologies, and many other issues.